What's going on, all my Elite Life family and my Pathfinder tribe, and welcome back to another video on your Building Effective Relationships course. So what we're going to be talking about now is what happens to communication once you're in the stage of growing together. So the friendship and the lifelong partnership has been cemented as that. Yeah. So you know how to communicate, and you've been building your communication skills of that two-way communication when you've been on your own. During the honeymoon period, it's all about that two-way conversation because you're trying to sell your best, but also show your weaknesses, not be afraid to show your weaknesses, but also turn around and go, these are my weaknesses, but this is what I do with them, and this is how they serve me. So you can show that you have a handle on things. But when you get into the kind of growing together bit, even with friends and lifelong partners, there is another stage of communication that happens, and it normally comes with no sign. And this is what I'm talking about. You have talking on this side, and you have the venting on this side. Guess what venting? Before I show you this again, the difference between talking is those communication things that we've been talking about, that two-way conversation. So all like the listening, the cues, all of that, but we'll talk about that in a second. Venting is when the person needs you just as someone to look at whilst they offload. Now, if you remember in a previous stage of this course, I turned around and said, never assume or presume, yeah, that the person knows what you're feeling, what your actions are, and what your intentions are at any given moment. They should know you inside and out, yes, and they can have a really, really good understanding and guesstimation, which is normally correct based on how you are thinking, feeling, and doing. But if you take away the, I assume they know what I'm thinking and feeling, or they should know that I think and feel like this based on who I am. Take that away. Take it away. You know what? Curiosity, assumption, all of that, it can either go one or two ways. And normally it goes the negative way, which means everything breaks down. The reason why it normally breaks down is because you're like, what, don't you know me? Why do I have to do that for you to know that? You should just know it. Well, don't you know me? Well, yeah, I do know you, but I'm not a blimmin' mind reader. Well, why do I have to tell you that's what I'm thinking? Because I've just told you I'm not a mind reader. I've been going through my stuff all day. I've been dealing with my crap all day. I've been dealing with not only my crap, but I've been trying to put in my own coping strategies so it doesn't become crap, that I do still see the positive in my day, so I can move forward at the end of it. So I get home, and instead of going, my last 24 hours I wish I could erase, you turn around and go, no, ultimately the day has been good. It's been out of its ups and downs, but I'm in control of the downs, and I definitely love the ups, and they have happened. I am trying to do that for myself all day damn long, and then you come in and assume I know something about you and your day and how you're thinking and feeling. Excuse me if I'm a human being and got it wrong. So you've got wrongness on this side, you've got wrongness on this side because this person assumes that you should know. And you've got this person turn around and say, well, I've got a lot going on, why should I also know what's going on with you? See the conflict? Yeah? If you've got something to vent at and you need your partner or your friend as just a sounding board, give them time to protect themselves. Because if you come in from the day, or you go meet your friends and you're like, they can either go, I think they're venting, or normally, because they love you, they go, this is a conversation, they want my opinion. Where inside you, when you're venting, you're like, I don't want your fucking opinion, I just need you to listen. Oh, sorry, I got it wrong, but now you're being aggressive to me just because I got it wrong. See? Turn round and go to them, sit down, and yes, for the sake of a sentence in 2 seconds, say it is what you want them for. Just say it's a partner. Walk in and go, babe, where are you? I need the vent. Whew. That's better. How's your day been? Mine was good, thanks, babe. How about yours? You know? If someone needs you for a vent, all they're asking you at that specific time is to protect yourself. Is to know I don't need your opinion. Know that I'm just getting rid of this feeling. Because sometimes if you look at your Elite Life library, there's a practice where it goes, sit down at the end of your day and recall all the positives in your day. Sometimes that is very, 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 very hard to do because maybe that one negative, it's just hard to get rid of. And one of the best ways to get rid of it is by getting rid of it. Because sometimes being very out loud about things is very cathartic. It's very much a healing tool, especially if it's bounced off someone. So you're not just saying it to yourself in your head or saying it to yourself in the mirror. Someone's looking at you whilst you're saying all this. But there has to be a point where you go, I've said what I needed to say, is what it is. Now I'm going to recall my positives because that was a vent for me. I've just vented it. I've got rid of it. It's out there. It's away from me. I've given it its moment. I chose to give it its moment, so I've given it and it's gone. It's happened, but the tension's gone because I've been able to blurt it out. And what you're saying to this other person is, I do not need your opinion. This is not something I need a conversation about. I've got it in control. I just need to get this off my chest. Please just be the person who stands in front of me. Because once you say that, hopefully, you're saying to this person, just protect yourself. And know this is the rules that I want you to play. You'll know when venting goes into a conversation because the person who's venting turns around and says, well, what would you have done? Tell me, what would you have done? That's when it switches into a conversation. It doesn't have to be, babe, I'm going to vent, you need to listen, or babe, I need to talk. There does need to be a cue though. And this could be something that you work out together. Could be simply, babe, can I have 5 minutes? As soon as you hear that, you go, going to vent. Yes, babe. Blah, 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 blah. Because also, because we spoke about intention at the beginning, if you know you are going to vent and that you need to vent, you're one in control, again. 2, you go, I'm going to need that 5 minutes with my friend or my other half. They know these moments can happen and vice versa. I can be that person they vent to. I now have the intention that with this with this venting action, my intention is to do it so it no longer has an influential impact on my life. The strain and the stress that I'm going through. So, venting. Work out a signal with your friends or your partner that you need to vent. So you're telling your partner, just protect yourself because this is not aimed at you. And that is the good thing, not aimed at you or not aimed at me. So that's what they should be saying to themselves. It is not called venting when you have the issue with the person that you're shouting at. So if you had like a friend or a partner and you vented the issue that you have with them, don't expect that to be a vent because they do have the right to turn around and say, right, this ain't venting, this is a conversation we're having. And it's two-way. You can have your moment of talking. This is when it goes into this communication style, but stick with it. So when it talks, goes into communication. Remember, it's two-way. One person's going to start, the other person's going to come back. But respect the situation, respect the procedure. Listen more than you talk. Use your questions to open up where they're coming from so you can have more understanding. Give your opinion when it is time to give your opinion, but before you give your opinion, repeat what they've said, confirm your understanding, and then reply with your opinion. But you must know that there is time to do one and there's time to do the other. And you also must know that the other person must also be aware of which one you're doing or asking for. Now, if I turned around and said to you that most relationships and most friendships break up because they couldn't talk to each other, it's because not everything is a conversation that needs to happen. Sometimes it is just venting. Sometimes the person just needs you to stand there and allow them to offload but they're not offloading onto you. They're offloading with you in front of them or beside them because they are sick and tired of doing it to themselves in here. Because when they do it to themselves in here, it gets trapped. That feeling gets trapped inside them. They need to see you as a physical entity, a presence, so it doesn't get trapped in here, it gets let out there. You become a tool for them and their progression to move on. So protect yourself. No, it's not aimed at you. But at any point, if any of it is aimed at yourself, you need to confirm, like, okay, this just ain't you venting, is it? We need to have a conversation about this. Talking is one of the hardest things to do in a relationship, especially like a life partner relationship. Friendships, as soon as you can't talk to your friend, you just stop talking to them, they drift away. It's kind of like, yeah, it sucks, they were a good friend, but we just couldn't talk anymore. You've invested a lot more emotions into like a life partner. Not more as in like, you know, there's a friendship amount and here's a life partner amount. They could be the same in quantity. They just have a different impact. Because I know people, and I've got friends that I'm in love with. I'm in love with my friends. I see them as family more than friends. And I've had relationships in the past that, you know, if either one of them broke down, which one would I miss? Now, some relationships have gone, and I've turned around and said, I'd rather keep these friendships than stay with you. And there are some types of relationships where I've gone, I'd rather have this than keep that friendship. So it's on an individual basis, but one's not bigger than the other. It's different. But normally you're able to speak to your friends because there's not that type of buy-in to things. Because we normally talk to our friends about other friends. It's really good to talk to your partner about your friends. But when you've got an issue with your partner, you go speak to a friend when you should be sorting it out with your partner. It's all right to do that because you want another outsider's point of view. But you need to know when you're dealing with the individual, sometimes they are going to vent towards you or you need to vent towards them. But you need to know that they are not a psychic, they're not a mind reader, and they do deserve to know what one it is. Because you do not want to have the reason why our friendship or our partnership broke down is through a lack of communication. It's because we couldn't talk. It's such a simple act, but it's one of the most hardest to get right. So know the person which one you want to do. So tell the person, which one you need to happen at that specific time. As soon as you do, they know their role and they can actually help. They can play their role in it. Because also, last thing you want to do is when you need to vent at someone or something, your partner then thinks, like I said earlier, thinks it's a conversation, and they start giving you an opinion when you're like, I don't need your opinion, then it becomes a conflict between you two when the conflict didn't even exist. All for a pre-warning. And you and your partner, you and your friends can decipher that what one it's going to be. Okay? Right, folks. The difference between venting and talking, both are needed, both need their time, both are very, very powerful tools, but you need to let each other know what one it is at that point that you need. Okay, and they can switch. You might think it's venting, but then it can switch to a conversation. If you think it's switched to a conversation, then allow the other person to know, hang on, this is what I'm thinking, does this turn into a conversation? And yes, it's just that confirmation, it's that confirming with each other what needs to happen. Because you're two human beings at the same time. When people talk about soulmates and life partners and, you know, me and my friend know each other inside and out and my partner can finish off my sentences, that's really good because you've had moments of that. But at the end of the day, you are two entities that are connected, but you still are two entities. You've not become one. Maybe your emotions and your feelings are you've become one person, but you still are physically two people that are just connected, but still have two functional brains, to have your feelings and your triggers, and how those triggers affect you is totally down to you. But sometimes during venting and talking and stuff like that, the connection can break, and it's sometimes in these kind of like micro breaks of the connection. Doesn't mean you're not connected, doesn't mean you ain't in love with each other, doesn't mean your friendship is not going to last. It just means sometimes you forget to consider what the other person's feeling. Always have that consideration. That's what that connection means. That consideration. If you can consider what the other person needs, thinks and feels at the moment of what you need out of them, either venting or talking, you then have put the basis in there, into play of having the perfect outcome. If you vent at this person, they think they're being attacked, that connection between the two of you breaks. And we go, whoa, I didn't mean that. Yeah, you did, you made it all about me. Yeah? If you turn around and go, I need to vent for a second, this is not about you, or whatever way you do that, that connection stays, they play their part, blah, 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 and then they go, and then you go, oh, done. And then they go, that wasn't at me, I've protected myself, the connection's still there, there's been no miscommunication. Or, I need to talk, that's fine, connection, this is how I'm feeling. Oh, this is how I'm feeling. What makes you feel that? This is what makes me feel like that. When did that happen? Well, this is when that happened. Oh, I'm sorry that happened, it weren't my intention. Okay, but can we move forward from this? Maybe this is what I need in the future. Not a problem, but can we come to some agreement that if I am doing it, I don't mean it? Can you see? Having that awareness of each other, that you're not mind readers, allows that connection to stay between you. Keep that connection between the two of you, venting in conversation and talking. 9 times out of 10 won't go wrong. Okay? See you on the next video, folks. You're doing well, you're doing amazingly. Keep pushing forward for your elite life. Take it easy.